Hey guys! So today I thought I would do 5 things that they don't tell you when you come to NYU Tisch Drama. And so I am in love with my school. I think it's an incredible school. We have a great program, so many positive things. I could spend probably 3 hours talking about how great this school is. But there are a couple of things that aren't maybe necessarily bad, but that aren't really advertised about the school, that I thought I would just go ahead and share with you if anyone's looking into this school or curious about the school. Okay, so the first thing is our stages. So it's a little bit different here. So when you go to a lot of different universities, they have, if they have a theater program, they have like a big stage, a big grand stage with like tons and tons of seats and a lifted stage and very nice and its own building, you know. Tisch doesn't really have that. We do have what we consider our main stage, but that is kind of a giant studio that we add risers into to seat audiences, and each of the different studios has their own like playing space, so it's not that you won't ever be on a stage. Atlantic has one like in our basement, but it's just to say that NYU doesn't have that like big grand main stage, so that's not where you're gonna be performing if that's like in your head. Let's see, number 2. Okay, so study abroad. So one of NYU's biggest things is that we are a global university, and we have a ton of study abroad locations, which is incredible. But one thing that is a little bit difficult, funny enough, in Tisch is to study abroad. And this is not by any means to say that it is not possible. It is very possible. But I will say if you want to study abroad, it's something you're going to have to prioritize, because unlike other disciplines within NYU where like maybe you could take a communications course kind of wherever, some of our training is very site specific. So for example, with Atlantic, I can't really go to just any of our study abroad sites and take speech or take Suzuki or take whatever it is, you know, those are only offered at my studio. And most studios, it's difficult to kind of like leave for a semester and come back because each new year like starts the curriculum together, if that makes sense. So like incoming freshmen, like we don't have like a class that comes in and starts in the spring. So like if you were a sophomore and you decided to take the second semester off to go do a study abroad, then you wouldn't be able to pick up your studio training until the following year in that second semester, if that makes sense. And there's always like ways to work around these things. This is like general terms. Your advisors will be able to answer way more questions, but I just think that NYU as a whole is very study abroad friendly, but within Tisch it can be a little more difficult. And in your upper studios, there is more opportunity to study abroad, but just wanted to put that out there. And then 3, okay, so 3 is your first year. You are required to do 2 crews, or at least I was. You're definitely required to do 1 crew, maybe 2, depends on the studio. So your freshman year, you will take 2 courses, ITS, Intro to Theater Studies, and ITP, Intro to Theater Production. And for Intro to Theater Production, every drama Tisch major takes it. And I just said drama Tisch major. Every Tisch drama major takes it. And it is such an incredible course, but part of the requirements for that is that you work on a crew, that you work backstage, and that you experience that. And it's not a bad thing at all, but that's something that I think sometimes people don't think about and then are surprised by. And if you're in Atlantic, and I know a couple of the other studios do this, you also have to do a crew for your own studio. So my freshman year, I did 1 at NSB, New Studio on Broadway. That was for my ITP class. And then I also did 1 at Atlantic, which was actually Master Harold and the Boys, which was a bunch of fun, which is now being brought back around for our Studio Fest. Sorry, phone. So super fun experience. You're gonna learn so much, but your first year really isn't as much performing as it is supporting performances. Most of your first year performance opportunities are going to be in your classroom, in the courses you're taking, not full-blown main stages, which is something that can be different. Transitioning from a high school or being in high school and working in the community around you, you know, in theater, you're doing show after show after show, and then it's kind of like, whoosh, and you're like, what? So, a little different. And then 4 is rehearsal space. And this one is particularly true if you're Atlantic, but it's true for all of us. We're in the city, which is great because we're like right near everything. But the problem is we're also right near everything, so there's not that much space. And a big problem is finding rehearsal spaces. Sometimes you will find yourself needing to like go into classrooms and like hope no one shows up while you rehearse, or working in really, really tiny practice rooms for scenes that are supposed to be these like massive productions. So that's something that can be a little bit trying, a little bit difficult if you don't know going into it what you're going to face. And some studios do have reserved practice like studio hours, but not every studio is like guaranteed those. And then the 5th thing is slightly more like positive. I don't know, none of these are like positive or negative, they're just information I want to give you. But this one is about how you get sorted into studios. And I just want to say that like the thing that you can't possibly know coming in is that these people who are in charge of picking your studio are like sorcerers. Seriously, they have the sorting hat. I don't know how they do it, but if you talk to the vast majority of those in NYU drama, we will all like, for the most part, of course, just speaking from my own experience and hearing from my peers, is that we are totally in the right studio for us. So a lot of people when they audition are like, I want to be in ETW, or they're like, I want to do, well, that's an upper, but Adler, or whatever it is. And you might have like a really clear want, and a lot of times that's not what you're going to get, because a lot of times they're able to see your personality in your audition, what skills you have, what skills you maybe you don't have yet. They look at your resume, they look at your academics, they really look at you holistically and are able to take that and kind of matchmaker you to your perfect studio. And it's totally true that each studio kind of has like a type. It's gonna be weird when you show up because you'll like get to your studio and you'll be like, these people are all a little bit too much like me. So I just put that out there because I don't think that I knew just how good they are at it, because Atlantic was not even in my top like 3 or 4, but I'm so grateful that that's where I ended up. So if you end up in a studio that is different from what you were like going for, I would strongly consider trusting NYU and taking the plunge anyways, because it's going to be such a great adventure. So those are just 5 things that I thought I didn't really know coming into NYU. So I thought I would share those, or NYU drama. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Give me some comments about these. Anything, if you are at NYU, are there things that you didn't know about that you would like to add to the list, or any questions from incoming people? So yeah, hope you guys have a great, amazing day. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell icon. It'll give you updates when I post a new video, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Best.